Welcome back to the best Dominion cards list. We're entering now the top 20 of the cards costing free. This is the ninth part in the series. Rank 20, Lookout. After being better 5 ranks last year, Lookout climbed 3 more ranks, but also over 11 percentage points. This is a lot. It has a small lead over Market Square of 0.02 percentage points. It is 2 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Lookout is quite a strong treasure. People get always scared because they have to trash one of those 3 cards that they reveal, but most of the times it's really fine. Early on, it's similar to Lookout. It doesn't give the coin, but has the upside that you can trash, of course, estates with it and filter a little bit, and it gives of course an action, so this has the upside later in the game when you draw your deck you can still play it mid-turn, while Lone has the downside that you can't play it mid-turn. So if you draw your deck you can't play it you can't trash anymore. So this is a really nice card that allows you to trash from the top of your deck and filter a little bit. And you have to just, if you are thin enough, just stop playing it, because you won't will stop playing Chapel also after a while. So this is the same thing. Just because it has +1 action, you don't have to play it just because you can. So this is a really strong treasure. But yeah, there are a lot of good treasures costing free. There are still a couple to come. Rank 19, Warehouse. Warehouse was 6-1, but it continues to lose ranks, this year even 4 ranks. It has a small lead over Lookout as well, only 0.01 percentage point. So those last 3 cards are very close together. Yeah, Warehouse is really an elite card that you need in a lot of decks. Opening with it is really good because it cycles you, finding the key card you open with more often, like Warehouse C-Hack or Warehouse Ambassador is really good. It helps you in a lot of decks, filtering, finding cards that you want. Even if you have a limited treasure, like only copper trashing, it still cycles you the estates that you still have, for example. The only games where it's not good is against discards attacks, of course, because then you have start with a 2-card hand. If you play Warehouse at the start of your turn, that is of course not really great. But in sloggier games, finding the good cards, and in engines and early on to find the strong cards, and later in the game to still have a good deck while greening, are very good cases for this card. You basically want it in nearly every game. Rank 18, Dungeon. Dungeon is better than last year, but still stays on the same rank. It is 2 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, so basically this is Warehouse Brother, fittingly on the adjacent rank. The real question is which one is better. In my opinion, it's clearly Warehouse, because it's just better in engines, because discarding at the start of your turn isn't always what you want. It's playing till nearly the end of the turn, then discarding the good cards, the bad cards, and finding the last good cards, or just mid-turn when you might stall and then play Warehouse and continue your turn. With Dungeon, when it's discarding from at the start of turn with a lot of good cards, is just not that great. Of course, it doesn't discard down to 2 cards when you have a duration dungeon. That's of course an upside, but still, when you play it, it is the same effect. Dungeon is better, I think, in sloggier games, or like a Dungeon C-Hack. I think is better than a Warehouse C-Hack, for example, opening because you will end up with more cards in your deck, and then dungeon doesn't miss a lot of reshuffles. Then that's also another downside of dungeon, of course, missing the reshuffles. Then you rather want the warehouse. But in thicker decks, um, cycling and discarding 2 cards is mostly as good as 3 cards, and you can do it twice. This is a big bonus. Also, doing that at the start of your turn is just as good, because you won't play a lot of cards in your turn. So I think dungeon is better with if you have a thicker deck with a lot more bad cards, while warehouse is better in thinner engines. But it's surely debatable which one is stronger. Rank 17, Scheme. Just like Dungeon, Scheme has quite a bit better average, but still stays on the same rank. It is 3 ranks better in the unweighted ranking, so it is overrated by weaker players. Yeah, being able to play especially top decker village each turn can be quite nice if you have a deck that is really slow or really messy with brutal attacks like cursing or discarding attacks. Then being able, while you still haven't trashed down as much or can't do that because the treasure is weak, to top deck that village so that you be sure that you don't draw your draw card without a village is really handy. Mostly you want at least 2 schemes so that you can top deck a village draw card. This is really nice. Also, throning a scheme or king's courting even a scheme it guarantees you basically kick off every turn. Of course, if you can trash down to a thin deck, it mostly doesn't matter if you can top deck those cards or not. But still early on to scheme your key card, similar to the last 2 cards where you cycle to see your key card more often. Top decking is similar good or even better. So scheme Sea Hack or scheme Ambassador or such openings are quite strong and can really give you the upside over your opponent that opens like the strong attack in the silver, for example, because you can just play your key cards more often. Rank 16, Village. Village is nearly 10 percentage points and 3 ranks better. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, this is the most defining card maybe in all of Dominion. Straight, vanilla, Village. It seems so simple, just 1 card to action. You go through the different phases where you overbuy villages and play like a village idiot. Then you think, oh, money is so overrated, and then you slowly realize that village is again a really good card for engines. Just you realize when to buy it and how many you want, and in which order you want to buy those. But a village effect for free is really nice, given how it is still good for cards like Farming Village or Vault Village that are only slightly better than a Vanilla Village. You still buy those for 4 a lot of times and they are still good. So a village for 3 coins is really good, as it's way easier to get 6 and 2 buys than 8 and 2 buys to get 2 villages. That makes a difference a lot of times. So Village has really strong cards, defining cards for all the engines. Rank 15, Bonfire. Bonfire is another big winner in this list. It is 6 ranks and over 13 percentage points better. The median is even over 20 percentage points better. It has the second highest deviation in this list, however. It is 1 rank lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, compared to Plan, Bonfire is just so much better. It trashes 2 cards on buy. Of course, you have to buy it every time when you want to trash, but trashing 2 cards is just like a Steward trash. But Steward trashes, of course, every time, while Bonfire you have to buy it over and over again. This makes Steward, of course, better card that is still to come. Of course, it can only trash coppers, not curses and estates, but it can still trash ruins, which is quite important. But in early game, using 2 or 3 bonfires gives you a really thin deck really fast, and if you have gainers, then you can use can build your deck really fast. It's just like Jack Bonfire is just really amazing strong. You can play Jack and use Bonfire to trash estate, copper, and gain a silver just in one turn. Makes your deck so better so fast. But also in engines, even if it's the only treasure and you can't get rid of your estates, Bonfire is just still so strong, because yeah, you get your deck running just so fast. Of course, really the downside is of course that you have to buy it over and over again. But free is not expensive, that can you afford a lot of times. So this is an elite treasure. Rank 14, Watchtower. Watchtower loses 3 ranks and 5 percentage points, but has, on the other side, even 3 votes on the first rank. That's why it has a high deviation as well. It is voted 1 rank higher in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, Watchtower is really versatile. It defends against many attacks, especially against discard and cursing attacks, which are the strongest 2 kinds of attacks in Dominion mostly. You can use it in engine to early on to top deck cards that you just bought, and later play village terminal and draw up again to 6 cards to use it as a draw card, especially with cards that discard, like Hamlet. This is really nice. You can build a draw engine with cards costing 2 and 3 only, which is really strong if you have trashing at least. So Watchtower is a really fun card. It's a lot of times nice to use in a lot of games. Also, University Watchtower is just so good. Gaining and top taking the card that you just gained, then drawing up again and playing the card that you gained in the same turn is just really strong and accelerates the engine just so fast. Rank 13, Black Market. After rising a lot of ranks the last 2 years, Black Market's stats didn't change a lot. It has the same rank and around the same average. It is the 3rd card in a row with a high deviation, and it is voted 2 ranks lower in the unweighted ranking. Yeah, on boards where there's not everything, like missing a treasure, missing whatever, Black Market is just the way to go, because you have to get the cards, or if it's missing a payload like attack or something, you have to go for the Black Market to be able to have the chance to get a strong attack out of the Black Market. It's rare that the board offers everything that you want, so that Black Market is redundant. If it's missing a village, however, it really depends what's in it. If it's worth it to still get the fish, for example, a fishing village, or whatever other village out of the Black Market, then it's I don't know how often you really want to go for it. We'll see how it will be implemented in the next online client, how it affects the strength of it. But not being able to see the content of the Black Market, I think you even more want to go for it, because it might give you the cards that you want. And so this is really strong. It seems at first glance just like a woodcutter, because it gives you an extra buy and 2 coins, but giving you access to extra cards that your opponent can't get is really a really strong effect, and makes the card really good. Rank 12, Hermit. Hermit stays also in the same rank and has quite a solid lead of nearly 4 percentage points over Black Market. Yeah, Hermit gaining cards and crashing and being able to turn the Madman all in all makes this as an elite card. It defends well against cursing because you can trash even curses from a discard pile while you gain silvers and have a strong economy. If there are even ancient cards costing 3 or less like Village, Menagerie and such, or Fishing Village, then this Hermit is crazy strong. Being able to gain those and spam those all those cards that you want, it's just so good. So it's good for big money, trashing curses and estates, gaining silvers is really good, and being able to Madman for a strong payload in the end. It's strong in ancients as well, as you can also trash your estates and is giving you a little bit of economy that you need, and then you turn in for a Madman a little bit earlier. So it's rarely skippable on basically on any board. And Hermit Market Square, of course, there's this combo. So yeah, Hermit is a really strong trasher for free. This is common now in the top 20. Rank 11, Amulet. Amulet lost 1 rank, but has a better average. And just as I said, there's the next treasure for free. Amulet is a weaker steward because it trashes also 2 cards, but split over 2 turns. But has the upside of gaining silvers. If you want to trash down your building engine, then you don't want that many silvers, which makes it this effect not that great. But like gaining 1 or 2 silvers after trashing is just really good to get your economy up without having to buy silvers. So this is really helpful, and later on you can still use it as a weaker steward for +1 coin. So it's also +2 coins split over 2 turns. So Amulet is also a really good opening to get trashing done really fast. You just have to hope that they don't collide and especially not on turn 4. And Amulet, of course, is also not bad even in a money-ish strategy. You can trash your estates first, then gain silvers and get to 8 coins really fast. So this is useful on basically every board as well, just like Hermit. So this was the top 20, 11 to 20. We're missing the top 10 coming up in next day or the day after tomorrow. Leave some comments where you think, do you agree with the cards landing in this part? So basically, if you agree, do you agree with the cards landing in the top 10? Which card do you think out of this list, this part, should be in the top 10 instead? And leave some comments. As always, see you soon. Bye.